Welker in the lineup.
Yeah.
Is he dealing with something?
Yeah, he's dealing with something. He's dealing with some eye issues.
Ooh.
So there's some vision issues. But the training staff and the doctors believe it's going to be resolved. I'm not exactly sure of what I should call it publicly, but
Okay.
it has to do with his eyes and his vision. But he's going to come out of it, and it's
So it's
very
not,
unfortunate.
It's not a scary thing?
No, it's not a scary thing. No.
Just timing.
Just timing. Yeah, which is a bummer. For a guy that, last year what he went through, and then finally getting health or getting
Right.
back on the field.
Right.
And then hoping, to have a good off season, come into camp healthy and ready to play a full season. Now, he's behind again. So it's very unfortunate.
What were you looking to see from him, and in what spots this came?
Well, to the last part, quality play at first and third defensively, right? Get them reps at both of those two spots, and to just to see hopefully another year of natural maturity through off-season strength programs, and just a player who's getting better, right, with another year of experience, even though he didn't play a lot, but guy who's more comfortable, a little bit stronger, a little more accomplished in the field, all the things you look for in a young player's development.
Is he going to be able to participate in this camp?
It's close. I mean, it's going to be really close. I think so.
Okay. But the bulk of it, he's going to miss.
He's going to miss. I think he's going to miss another week or so, according to Keith.
Looking at potentially the situation in Albuquerque, you could have Montero, Welker, kind of two guys who do same two positions.
Sure.
Valet plays them first. Tolia, if he's moving out there, would you just have some sort of first base, third base, DH rotation there just to make sure everybody gets their at-bats?
I'm not sure who's going to end up there. The minor league player development people will take the lead on that and what they feel is right, with some input from obviously Billy and our major league coaching staff. But there's plenty of at-bats to go around amongst those guys, right? If they're playing first and third, and there's a DH, and so there'll be plenty of at-bats.
I wanted to ask about. It looks like it's probable. I guess there's a tentative agreement to go to 28 until May 1st. Do you go with a couple extra pitchers, or is there concern, especially with the quick spring, with leg injuries? How do you balance?
I think you look at the pitching first. So I'm not sure exactly what the rules are going to be. Whether all teams have to adhere to whether the same amount of pitchers or position players.
The agreement is
you can do what you want.
No limit until May 1st.
Okay, good.
Go back to the pitching.
I'd heard both. That maybe if there's 28, maybe 14 pitchers max, then 14 position players, or 13 and 15. I have not heard that you can do whatever you want. But I mean, that makes sense in some ways to do what you want. But you can make a case that, hey, you're all in this together with an expanded roster. This is what we've determined is, I don't know whether fair is the right word, but, sensible for equity.
Right, yeah. Well, I saw that yesterday. I was thinking, I actually saw a paragraph that said that there are no limits until May 1st, then you go back to the 13, which that could be a real roster headache 1 month into the season.
Yeah, sure.
What did you see? You didn't see it, but reports on Antonio's minor league game yesterday. The line looked good. He said he felt really good.
Yeah, felt good. I like the fact that he got to 54 pitches and held his stuff. That's what Darryl went over with him, and Dom. I talked to Dom too. Right. He said his stuff was solid. Just the overall velocity, the action to his secondary pitches. He threw the ball great, and it was a opportunity for him to, that's what we wanted to accomplish is the pitch count and the stamina and durability. He's been throwing well here early, so he's done a nice job of prior to camp staying in throwing shape, but again, that's why we've sort of delayed these starters a little bit to make sure they're in a good start, because the intensity picks up when like for Marquez today and Kyle the other day, the intensity naturally picks up. So, but he was anyway. Great reports from Daryl and from Don.
I think he said he was facing major leaguers in Ciardi, a few others down in Orlando before the
Okay,
game.
yeah.
I think Drew Butera was catching too. So.
Oh, awesome, yeah.
With him, he tells me that he really wants to sharpen that curveball and take it to another level. What are the things you guys have talked about that pitch?
Well, again, there's talk about his grip, right? Pressure, on his middle finger, his index finger to create the right spin. You always talk about proper mechanics and staying within, within your own natural delivery. To create your pitches and not try to do too much, not try to, spin the ball too much. And, the technology, right, the Rapsodo and the TrackMan devices enable us to, fine tune some things as far as a release point and spin grips and pressure.
He seems to react really well to that stuff.
Yeah, he's. I think, one of the things that, Fosti has said about Antonio that, after his first couple years, he really became a great student and listener and, really adhering to our advice and coaching and instruction. Not that he was stubborn as a rookie, but, a lot of young pitchers are, why do I need to do this? I'm here. I got here because this is what I do. But he's matured to the point where, they made some suggestions to his delivery, and he ultimately said, okay, I get it, I understand, I'm going to do it. Some things with his pitches, same thing. So,
one last one on him. Early in the year, last season, even some of the outings that went kind of sideways, it seemed like he would get to a certain part in a game, maybe make a mistake on a key pitch. And when he cut that out, that's when you saw that run going with him. What does he do to make sure that that pitch that he needs is what he wants to do with it?
Well, that defines for me a quality major league starting pitch or pitcher, from another guy. And I've always said, I don't know whether you guys have heard me and maybe you haven't listened, but there are certain points in a game that a starting pitcher is going to be stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And his ability to make a pitch, get through an at-bat, is the difference between a good outing and a poor one. And there's probably a handful of at-bats during a game, and it could boil down to how that at-bat turns out, and could come down to a certain a count or a pitch, that you get the double play ball, you get the strikeout, you get the sac fly instead of the double in the gap, that changes the course of the game. And the good pitchers make those pitches or get those outs in that particular at-bat. And it happens it's going to happen today. It might in Marquez's three innings. Even though he's going three, there could be a point in this game that there could be two guys on with no outs. What happens after that? What happens there? Does he minimize the damage? Does he keep it at 1 or 2 runs instead of 4? That happens every single game. So when you guys watch a game, you watch that. And the good ones make a pitch.
That's part of the maturity.
And that's maturity, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing on Marquez is that you look at most of the outings are this almost star-level pitcher, and there's the odd, awful outing. And I was talking to him about that, and he said that there were times that he realized something would go wrong in one of those games, and as calm as he can be, he gets really mad.
He gets mad. Not exactly. A lot of times he'll show the everything okay. I'm poised. I got it. But inside he's boiling and mad, and you see it in his delivery sometimes.
And then he overthrows.
Overthrows, and So that's where the conversations come in. This is where realizing where you have to take a step back, exhale, gather yourself, make some pitches.
D. Scott was saying something interesting, that sometimes when anyone is going well, maybe they get a little lax in their bullpen session on those, on things they should be really concentrating on. Then when you have a problem in a game, maybe those lax bullpen sessions are what ends up biting you, that you don't know.
Yeah, that's you always have to stay on point. All right, there's a time to relax, and enjoy our profession, but there's also times where you're working to get better. Bullpens, even in catch play, at 2:30 in the afternoon when guys are playing catch and getting loose, in the weight room, doing your exercises. All those things matter.
You can see when you're going well, it's like.
You've heard the attention to detail. It's often used, right, in anything. But for a pitcher or hitter, you've got to stay on point to do this, and that's what the good ones do it more often than others. Okay.
Can I ask one?
One more, then I got to go.
Do you think, you've been managing a long time now, and there are not a lot of ex-pitchers who are managers, traditionally, right?
Oh, yeah.
But do you think that your personal experience about controlling the emotions, about stopping the ball rolling downhill, so to speak,
Sure.
do you think that has been a big aid for you in terms of your relationship with pitchers going on the mound? Maybe
Sure.
because you've lived it and
Sure.
you can see it, if that makes sense?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, because I think that when I talk to the pitchers, half the team, I can share my experiences because I've been in their shoes. And they know that, if they believe I'm credible, then they listen, which I hope they do. Now, I can't do that the other way, right? With position players, but I can share some things with position players just based on my experience as well that can help them. But with pitchers, sure.
Thanks, man.
Yep.